welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to show you how to make mini pumpkin cheesecakes. I absolutely adore these cheesecakes. They're so easy to make. They don't take as long as a regular cheesecake. This is done in half the time, which means that you don't have to wait as much to enjoy it. Even if you don't like pumpkin, you're gonna love this recipe because it's not super like overboard pumpkin-y. It's not like boom in your face pumpkin. I am personally not a huge fan of pumpkin. The reason I decided to show you this recipe is because I know a lot of people are not a fan of pumpkin pie. I can eat pumpkin pie, but it's not my cup of tea, if you know what I mean. So this recipe is perfect if you want to include a little pumpkin in your fall recipes, in your fall season, on your Thanksgiving table, but you are not a huge fan of pumpkin. So if you are someone like me, keep watching. For the crust, you're going to need ginger snap cookies and some graham cracker cookies. I really like the flavor that the ginger snap brings to the whole crust. It makes it absolutely delightful, but of course you can use all graham crackers if that's what you have, and I do recommend you adding about a teaspoon of cinnamon if you're using just graham crackers, but this combination is absolutely perfect. I wouldn't recommend doing the whole crust of ginger snap cookies. I feel like it's too overpowering for my liking, but if you really love ginger snap cookies, go ahead. You're going to need some walnut, melted butter, and brown sugar. And for the actual cheesecake, you're going to need, of course, some cream cheese, pumpkin pie spice, 1 egg, sour cream, salt, brown sugar, light, this is packed light brown sugar, pumpkin puree, and some vanilla extract. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and now we're going to start with our crust. I'm going to be using my food processor because it makes everything a lot quicker and easier. You can also do it by hand. You want something that resembles sand. Here I have my graham crackers, and now I'm going to do the ginger snap cookies. So you're gonna need half a cup of graham crackers and about half a cup of ginger snap cookies. Sometimes I do a little less, sometimes I do a little more, depending on how I am feeling. So let me do this. And last but not least, we're going to do, I should have just done it together with the ginger snap cookies, but I forgot. We're going to do the same thing to our walnuts. You can also use pecans. This smells incredible. When I tell you this already smells incredible, please believe me, because it does. That's done. We're gonna add sugar right in there. We're gonna do the smallest pinch of salt, and now we're going to add the butter. I do 3 tablespoons first, and then if I see that I need a little more, then I'll do the other tablespoon, because sometimes it's good with 3, sometimes it needs a little more. It kind of all depends. You know how baking is, and you want something that resembles wet sand. And as you can see, once I press it down, kind of like sticks together and stays together. That's exactly what you want. This recipe makes about 16 mini cheesecakes, and as you can see here, I have a muffin or a cupcake pan, but since I only have one of these that brings 12, I do make the rest in this mini cupcake pan, and it makes the perfect bite-sized mini cheesecakes that kids absolutely adore. You're going to need about a tablespoon of your crust, so I added with a cookie scoop because it is easier, and you guys know me, I'm all about easy. And for this one, you're going to need about, I would say 1 to 2 teaspoons. Okay, and the rest I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the ones that I think needs a little more. And now what I'm gonna do, you can either do this with a little shot glass like this, but I actually like to do it with my hands. I like to press down. Make sure you don't press down too much, otherwise that's gonna make your crust hard. But you do definitely wanna press enough so that the crust doesn't fall apart. I am all done with the crust, and now this is going to go into the oven for 8 minutes. If you're making the little mini ones, like the bites, you want to take them out you know, in half the time because they're half the size. So these will take about 4 minutes, and then this is going to go into the oven for 8 minutes. While our crust is baking in the oven, we're going to go ahead and start with our cheesecake mixture. And I'm using the same bowl. I didn't even clean it. I mean, I did clean it with a paper towel. I removed the crumbs, but no need to wash it. I'm using a hand mixer because it's going to make everything a lot easier. You can also use your stand mixer or do it by hand. So we're going to add the cream cheese into our bowl. We're going to whisk the cream cheese for about 2 minutes. I just want to start making it nice and creamy, and make sure that you are using room temperature cream cheese. It cannot be out of the refrigerator. Make sure all of your ingredients are room temperature. Is going to make everything so much easier. Trust me on this. I don't know if you can see, but the cream cheese is nice and smooth. And now I'm going to add the sugar. And with my spatula, I'm going to go around the sides. Make sure everything is nice and well incorporated. This looks perfectly creamy. I don't know if you can see it, but it's perfect. And now I'm going to add the egg. Okay, so that's about like 30 seconds each time. And then I go in again with a spatula, and it is looking, oh God, this is looking wonderful. Add the pumpkin puree, and make sure you're using pumpkin, 100% pumpkin puree. Don't buy the ones that come already like seasoned. We don't want this stuff. I feel like it tastes kind of artificial and weird. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I don't like it. And now sour cream, pumpkin pie spice, pinch of salt, and a little splash of vanilla, about a teaspoon. And now we're just going to mix this. Okay, go around the sides one last time. You see, like on the bottom, there's usually stuff that's not really mixed completely. Okay, perfect. It's very important that you don't have any lumps in your cream cheese, because if you think that they might melt while in the oven, it's not gonna happen. I already made that mistake a few too many times. Okay, this is looking, as you can see, it is velvety. Okay, and we're going to start. I'm gonna do this with my cookie scoop again. You're gonna need about, I would say, 2 of these scoops. This mixture made exactly 16 cheesecakes. And now the other thing you want to do is you want to tap them very lightly. You just don't want them to have any air bubbles or anything like that. Okay, now these are going to go into the oven for 18 minutes. The little ones are going to go into the oven for 9 minutes, so half the time. After they're done baking, you want to turn off your oven, open the oven door slightly, just a tiny bit, and leave them there to rest for about an hour. Because that change of temperature from the oven to the temperature in your kitchen is going to make them crack, and we don't want that to happen. Obviously, the little ones, you unfortunately do have to take them out, but if they crack, that's totally fine, because we are going to top them with whipped cream and no one will notice. But yeah, I'm gonna pop this into the oven, and then I'm gonna show you how they turned out. Okay, and before I forget, if you have any empty spaces, make sure you add little bit of water. My cheesecakes were in the oven for 18 minutes. Well, the big ones, the little ones were there for 9 minutes. I turned off the oven. I opened up the oven door just a little bit, just a smidge, and then I let this rest in there for about an hour. These are going to go into the fridge. They do need to set for about, I would say, minimum 2 hours. Obviously, you can leave them there overnight. They last in the fridge like 3 or 4 days. I mean, I'm gonna show you one that I made about 4 days ago, and it's still perfect. Now we're going to make our whipped cream. Here I have a cup of heavy cream. Make sure it's cold, otherwise it won't whip. And I have powdered sugar. With my hand mixer, I'm going to make the whipped cream. I got my little mini pumpkin cheesecake right here. Okay, here's how it looks. Mine did crack a tiny bit, but it doesn't matter because we are going to top it with some whipped cream. Just do a dollop right on top, just like so. And now I'm going to do just a sprinkle of cinnamon. That looks perfect, as you can see. Okay. I want you guys to see how creamy and perfect. You see that? The only bad thing I have to say about these is that they're so tiny that you will probably want to eat 3 and 4, and you might not feel bad about it because they're this tiny. Perfect. You have a little one. This is literally a bite. This is perfect for any parties that you have that you want to serve something really tiny and simple but delicious. Maybe Halloween. This would be a great dessert, a little treat for Halloween. These are the ones that I baked today. They're not completely set, but yeah, that's delicious. That is absolutely, I would definitely eat like 10 of these and not feel bad whatsoever. But I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you don't like pumpkin, trust me, these do not taste like pumpkin. I mean, it does taste like pumpkin because it's a pumpkin cheesecake, but it doesn't have that overpowering like pumpkin taste, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I hope you guys enjoy the recipe. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.